Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
I'm Katie.
Hipanthropy is the strong belief that you are in fact a horse.
I have that.
I'm sorry, what noises do horses make?
Oh, that's getting edited out. That's going to be so good.
That's going in the sequel.
Yeah.
It goes along with my dolphin noise.
How do dolphins go?
Ah.
Ah.
I'm not recreating that again. I learned my lesson.
It's on the internet if you'd
when
like
it
to
got
find it.
edited into a song.
It only takes one.
Wait,
I'm silent and win a Dapsy. That's
the dolphin song.
It should have.
It should have.
really
the Academy really messed up.
That really is. That was a mess.
They gave them a lot of money. Like, I don't
For your
know.
consideration stuff?
Yeah.
Send out iPads
like-
with just that on
Yeah,
it?
here's the behind the scenes for your consideration. And it's just me being like, I should make a dolphin noise.
Actually, I have a comment about that. And I'm Cameron.
The Oscars happened this
Keep
weekend.
going.
Use the hashtag Geeks Corner if you'd like to talk at us. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff tonight. And if you decide to talk about the subjects we are also talking about, we may talk about them as well.
I'm so confused.
Hashtag Geeks Corner.
Hashtag. What are we talking about?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I was gonna figure the Oscars because we just talked about the Academy
Okay.
for
Talk about the Oscars.
the Oscars were a thing. They happened,
Yep.
They did.
and
Billy Porter looked fantastic. That's what I
Billy
want to talk
Porter
about.
did look fantastic. I am thrilled with the stereotype breaking. That's not the word I'm looking for, but
Diversity.
the diversity and the walls breaking that we saw, especially from Black Panther, obviously because Marvel, but the fact that we saw the first African American costume designer win was fantastic, and she deserved it. And she talked about how she got to make T'Challa king, and I just thought the whole thing was really cool. And I also really love that Bao won, and she got to encourage little girls with their sketchbooks to be weird and draw all the things. And
And get their children.
Was there anything you were disappointed about?
Yes.
Okay, I'm listening.
Best picture.
I'm listening.
I think that there were a couple other options in there that could have done better. I think Black Panther should have been in the running more than it was. I think it might have been thrown out entirely. The Academy's kind of fickle about those types of things. I also think Black Klansman got acknowledgement the
Yeah.
way it did, but I think that honestly should have been the better contender.
I agree.
It's not to say the film that won that was bad. It's just, you mentioned it, the theming of the night was around other subjects, and I feel it could have done better.
Yeah.
But
Have you ever seen an Oscars where you haven't walked away going, well, that could have gone better? Because I can't actually remember in recent history walking away from the Oscars thinking like that was completely satisfactory.
Well, I feel like they've been playing catch up for so. The Academy operates on a really weird system. It kind of happened with DiCaprio, in my opinion, where they have a backlog of people that they want to award to, regardless of what they've done that year. So they find an excuse to give it to them for that year. I bring up DiCaprio because there was a huge stink about him not winning an award, and then he ended up getting it for Revenant.
I was gonna say the one where there was a bear.
And I don't think he should have gotten it for that, but he should have definitely got it for like Wolf of Wall Street years previous.
Gilbert Grape.
I think we're still in kind of a tidal wave of them trying to catch up for stuff that they skipped over because they were too busy giving it to people they should have given it to before.
Yeah.
There's a lot more politics than film appreciation happening. But
Which is probably why the ratings are never as good as they could be.
yeah,
And there's a lot of money.
there's
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
So if you could have picked any film to get an award that didn't, maybe wasn't even nominated, is there any of those that would have popped out in the last year?
I feel like most of the nominations were on. I think it was just who won and who didn't.
I agree. To be completely honest, I don't follow award shows that much because,
Except for the Dapsies.
well,
So important to follow the Dapsies.
the Dapsies are the only award show that matters.
Very incredible.
It's already started for next year. You have no
We
idea.
have started for next year.
You guys have no idea.
It
what's
wasn't even
coming.
over yet, and next year's was starting.
Well, obviously. I just think that it's not a good representation of what was the best film or what was the best. I mean,
Hence the Dapsies.
yeah. I just think that because of the politics of the film industry and all these things, I think that it's more of a. I look at the Oscars as like, oh wow, that person wore a pretty dress, and like, oh, this person, like Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson presenting was the best thing ever. Like, that's kind of what I look at it as, but I don't necessarily go, oh my gosh, Black Panther didn't win, like, Best Picture. I'm going to cry for this
You know what
film.
my favorite part of the Oscars was J-Lo's Iron Man dress. That's too loud.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
Don't
sorry.
apologize to me. Apologize to the people
I'm
on the
so
other side
sorry.
of the microphone.
So J-Lo wore a gold, very, very sparkly dress. Silver, I'm so sorry. And our friend Kristen Slack of Kristen Slack Photography, we were sitting at Frozen Live at the Hyperion, and she's trying to show Mr. Daps across a row of us this picture. She's like, look at how great J-Lo looks. And he goes, what is it? And she was like, no, it's J-Lo's dress. Like, she looks great. And he goes, yeah, I get it. What is it? And so we all think that he's trying to be funny and be like, oh, what is it, a dress?
You think she was Disney bounding?
Because the red carpet was reflecting in a way, and
it
he was
looked
so
like
far
the
away
mask.
that it looked like
Screen right now.
Iron Man's
Okay.
mask. It looked like it was the specific Instagram photo and all these things. But that became the joke for the rest of the night. It was like, oh wow, I love that Iron Man got to be. And there was a picture of Chris Evans and J-Lo.
I
We
was
were like,
really
wow,
confused.
the MCU, it's coming together. Anyway, that's so J-Lo, Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry that I screamed. I forgot about that until you said that. Anyway, hi.
Yeah,
Welcome to
be
Geeks
there.
Corner.
Uh-huh.
You had to be there.
Also during the Oscars, there was a new
That's
Lion
bad.
King TV spot released along with the poster, which I actually found more exciting than TV spot, because TV spot was just the opening, and it's pretty much stuff we've already seen, and it's pretty, and it's
Yeah.
great.
We're going to do shot for shot. Do it.
Do it.
It's a good movie. I'll take it.
Just do it well. But the poster is gorgeous. And the thing I noticed immediately is if you've watched Geeks Corner for any extended period of time, you'll remember that we reanimated the dog Wendy many years ago for one of our Halloween episodes. And Simba looking up at Mufasa looks very much like Wendy when she sits in the backyard.
And you brought that up to me, and I can't unsee it, and I hate it so much, and that makes me want to pick up Simba and go, Simba, my little baby Simba, and then pick up Simba and see if he swims.
And then he roars in your face.
It's okay, he's a lion, he's a little baby lion.
How do baby lions? It's right
So,
here.
what did you guys think
If you're
of the
working on your
poster
taxonomy for baby
beyond
lions,
looking like Wendy?
it's here.
I don't know. Like, it's Lion King.
That, really, and then you bring that up. It's not going to break the mold, but if they did a shot for shot live action of Lion King, I mean I wouldn't complain. I mean it's Lion
I don't
King. It's a
think
good
they did.
movie.
I'm betting they did what they've done before, where they add depth of some sort into the story to try to make
Just
it.
don't try to make Scar a good guy.
Did you know they're lions? That's
Don't.
The depth. The depth is that
Well,
they're lions.
that's going to be the prequel that they're working on. It's just going to be called Scar.
Is it how Scar got his scar? And then all the
I
stories.
can tell you that story because there's novelizations in the Lion King
I know, but
universe.
they're going to do a
That is true.
prequel about it.
Scar's real name is Taka, which literally means garbage. His name is Garbage. His
Same.
parents named him Garbage, and
I found him in the garbage.
he got a cut
His
because
name is
Mufasa
Garbage.
was careless, and he decided that his name was Scar now, which is a better name than Garbage. His father's name is King,
Still not a
or
good.
his brother's name is King,
Still
and
not a good
they
name.
named them King and Garbage, are the names of their children.
So how do you feel about that?
Garbage.
Scar's one of the best villains of all time, but he's a
Really
villain
is.
because he's a villain. He's a villain. He's not sympathetic.
Well, it's not going to be shot for shot because Be Prepared is not in this movie.
I was gonna say, I feel like
Which is
we
a
should
crime.
I
be
agree.
prepared for when it comes out.
One
in
of the
July.
best
October.
Disney
Imagine
songs.
how
No,
amazing
hurry.
that would be in this photorealistic
that'd be so
animation.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
It's probably too scary. That's why they didn't include it.
Spooky.
But it'd be amazing.
That's in my top 3 list of Disney film music of all time. That's including all of Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's
Is
the
it
top
up
3.
there with Hunchback?
Yeah, no, it's what. Here's my hill to die on. 90s that era of Disney films, Lion King, Hunchback, all that kind of stuff. The films were so much more educated, much more than my compatriot who is attempting to mock me at the moment. The films
They're more
were
educated than I am.
yes. Are you kidding me? The songs of that era are more educated than all of us combined.
They
They're
were-
genius.
Yes, they were.
I mean, I know it sounds sordid, but you'll be rewarded when the last time given my due. An injustice most deliciously squared. Be prepared. Is
Brilliant.
so much complication in a song for children. It's a crime that's not going to be a movie.
And I would say that goes beyond the movies because you look at DuckTales and how much
Woo!
literary connections there are, and There's a lot of really smart things happening in the original as well.
Yeah, so much so that it's actually inspired other media beyond that. Inception, the film Inception, was inspired by a DuckTales comic. Chris Nolan's on record saying that they did a going dream within a dream, slowing down time thing in one of the comics. Somebody pointed that out to Chris Nolan. He's like, yeah, no, that's where I got the idea from. DuckTales.
Woo.
Confirmed.
Very good. Yeah. So we're excited about Lion King.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see.
I want to watch it. Like, it's
Yeah.
not that I...
Are you more excited about Lion King or Aladdin? Because I'm personally more
Aladdin.
excited about Lion King.
I just love Aladdin.
I think I'm going to lean more towards Lion King, but it's pretty on par.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Aladdin.
Because I will say, the moment I saw the first teaser for Lion King, it was like, whoa, this is big, and it was very awe-inspiring. And when we saw the first teaser for Aladdin, I was like, okay, that's cool. And it'll be interesting to see. It's just such a bigger story, I feel like, in Lion King, so there's
Definitely.
also more potential to mess up, I suppose. All right, well, we are going to return to a segment we haven't done for a while. And I got a text message from our good friend Mikey, really likey, the other night, and he would like to be assigned a new DAPS quest.
DAPS Quest!
And since World of Color returned this last week and officially returns this coming week, we thought it would be fun to give him a DAPS quest that's focused around the color wheel. And so what we are assigning you, Mikey, is you have to go on a Roy G. Biv adventure where you have to get a picture with something of each color in Roy G. Biv in different locations, ideally
Them's
different...
rainbow colors.
Yes. But ideally different locations. You can't just go like only to Epcot and get all of your...
Colortopia.
Yeah, can't and
No.
Colortopia is just off limits because that's cheating. But so you have to go and get all of those and send them back to us in a fun video that's under 2 minutes, right? Is that what we did before?
I think so.
Yes, 2 minutes or
Like
less.
2 minutes or less of you getting pictures with all of the colors of the rainbow, and you can't use Skittles either. Right?
Skittles don't even have all the colors of the rainbow.
Nor all the flavors.
Yeah,
I didn't taste gravy in any of them. And there's a distinct gravy taste in most rainbows.
it's true. Little known fact.
Yeah.
You should have saved that for your fact. Why'd you waste it in the
that-
why'd
Right.
you waste it in the
You're
show?
absolutely right.
That would have been a very
Everyone
good
forget that. Forget it.
Gravy
Never
rainbow
heard that.
flavor.
We're saving that.
Gravy rainbow would be a good like middle name for like mouse rat. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think so frequently I'll just say things and I'll go, new band name I call it because mouse rat. Anyway.
Yep.
Melatonin Nightmares. That's my band name.
Oh,
All
that's
right,
good.
last weekend, World of Color returned to the Disneyland Resort
Heard of
and started on, Friday night?
Yeah.
And Caitlin was so gracious and went in and filmed it for us. We've got that video up on our YouTube channel, which hopefully you're watching right now. Otherwise, if you're not, there's weird things happening.
Are you guys watching on the YouTube channel?
They're not.
Good. No, them.
We control the
They're
horizontal.
not. Anyway, World of Color has returned in its newest version of the original version, if that makes any sense.
Nope.
Carry the one.
Because they always tweak things. And
Carry the
so,
fountain.
like, there's no more Hellfire's not in it anymore.
Shame.
There's
Disappointing.
Pirates there
Shame.
instead.
Yes.
What else did they cut? There's one other thing they cut, didn't they?
Chernobog?
Chernobog's gone.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum,
So,
bum.
what do we think about the return of World of Color?
I'm
first
happy to
off?
see it back. It's nice.
Two things I really like about it. One, eats up a whole bunch of people.
Exactly.
That's great. That is great. Two, if it's the right night and you can kind of just wander up and get to enjoy a very special moment over there. Some of the best times I've enjoyed in California Adventure have been right after getting a warm, tasty beverage, walking by as the show began and stopping to watch. It's been great. It's one of those shows that I feel like I don't go out of my way a lot to watch, but every time I do, I'm very pleasantly
I think
entertained.
it's a hard show to go out of your way to watch if you don't get there early enough in the day.
Yeah.
Because fast passes are usually gone by the time we get there, and so then it's kind of a bit of a hindrance to like, oh, well, I might not be able to see it anyway, so let's go somewhere quieter.
Yeah.
But
It's nice to walk around the pier area, though, while it's happening. It's just nice music and...
one of my favorite videos I've ever shot was I took a GoPro and literally walked around World of Color. It was just filming, and like tons of people watched it, and it was the funniest thing 'cause it was just walking around World of Color, and Yeah.
The wonderful world of
If you
color.
want another walk around World of Color, let us know in the comments, and maybe we'll do it again.
Pro tip, if you are very late to it and you want to get a semi-decent view of it, but don't really want to fight the crowds, the back side of Waterview is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
If you go back and look, you'll miss a couple of things, but for the most part, you're going to see it.
Also
It's not as
underneath
good
Silly
from a photo
Symphony
standpoint,
swings.
but what?
Also underneath Silly Symphony swings.
Yeah.
We watched from there.
Yeah, we want any more now. What's your favorite section of the show?
The
They
part
show
with
her all the
rainbows.
shows.
World of Color.
But all of the shows? Or
Let's do current version, and then we can go into
Hellfire, yeah. I want it
current
back.
version.
Honestly, the Pirates part. The part that replaced it.
I like the fire.
And that's what I was going to talk to as we were about going through Hector's pictures earlier tonight, is I was surprised watching the video from Friday at how excited people still get over Captain Jack Sparrow. And you hear about how he's supposedly been dropped from the franchise and they're going a completely different direction, all of these things. You're like, oh, it must be going bad for Captain Jack. And then still, like, they put him up on the screens and there are all these cheers and people are loving every second of it. And I forget that we're so immersed in Disney and we get so much of it that we get the extreme often, and that a lot of the population still really are not tired of Pirates of the Caribbean or Frozen. Or
Moreover, the best thing you can hope for any character you develop is that it transcends the actor and becomes lore, which I think Jack Sparrow has done. Luke Skywalker certainly did well ahead of Mark Hamill, and that's one actor that's handling it very well. If your character can go beyond the person that's playing it and become a symbol unto itself, as Captain Jack has, that's the best thing you can hope for anything you've written. So I think that's going to be something that's going to remain in the zeitgeist for a long time. So good for them for developing that character.
It brings up an interesting question, though. If there's no Jack Sparrow in the next Pirates movie, where would you like to see Pirates go?
Pirates in space. If they're following the same
like Treasure
timeline,
Planet?
Wait, take it back.
It's got a good soundtrack, though.
so they've kind of already gotten away from the Caribbean in general because they've been sailing most of the open sea. There's a lot of exploratory things happening in this point in history around that time. I could see them going around the Cape and heading towards the West Coast.
It could be cool.
I could see a lot of that history coming into play. With the fantastical, they could go in a lot of different directions with different lores because they've done a lot of some Haitian lore. They've incorporated some.
They could go east too.
I'm thinking some of the Eastern lores, even some of the Norse lore. They could really incorporate.
East India Trading Company.
Well, it all makes sense. Connect the dots, people.
Which came out of a coffee shop.
Jean Lafitte.
John the Feet. Yes. So there are many other lores they can pull from. I could see them doing that, and there are many other historically significant areas of the world that they could advance to, and I think that's where they'll go.
I think it'd be really cool to even see them go back to UK. Go through that and kind of the different battles that are going on between the different countries. It is interesting, though, when you look historically at the Pirates of the Caribbean, that was a really short period of time. Like, that wasn't even a full generation. It was kind of a
Flash in the pan,
for really lack of a better term.
Well, it's considered there's like a rating of like historical significance versus how long it actually lasted. Pirates are the second shortest for that comparison for how much influence it's had.
Do you know off the top of your head how many years it is? I remember reading this
It
once.
It was like 5 or 6.
That's what was in
not
my
a
head,
lot.
too.
And that's just the heyday of it because it was this huge explosion because there wasn't any municipal oversight, and then they went, that's a really bad idea. And that 5 or 6 years is basically how long it took most of the European countries to send over law enforcement to stop it, and then they pretty much squelched it really quickly. It was only 5 or 6 years. The only thing that outranks
so you're
that,
saying the movies have outlasted the
much longer.
Yeah.
The only thing that lasted, has had a bigger influence culturally that was shorter was the Pony Express, which lasted 8 months. Everybody knows what the Pony Express is.
Yeah.
8 months of history.
Wow.
There's a ride at Knott's Berry Farm about the
Pony Express. 8 months. That's all it lasted.
Pretty funny.
That's very impressive. All right. Well, and then if you could pick any of the versions of World of Color as we come back to our real topic.
The original one that had Chernobog in it.
Original one had Chernobog in it. Second.
So
Like,
opening
no,
day,
no, like,
World of Color.
No, the pre-opening day that literally had Chernobog in it.
Yeah.
Like, the Chernobog fountain.
You just keep hitting that table there. Yeah. Maybe it'll come back. I'm not the table.
It's like a cat.
Well, don't, because then you push that off.
What's the
Sometimes.
cap sound like?
Sorry. There's a lot of sound effects happening tonight.
That's
folks.
going on the internet. That's great.
Best part
All right.
was, while she was making that sound effect, I saw her realize that she was making it. It was great. No.
It's coming out.
I'm like a kindergartner. Like, you go, what sound does a shark make? I'm like, I know I said it. Like,
So you know now Cameron's going to be like throwing a kid.
It's just this episode. I'm going to have a whole soundboard out of it.
it's just a
All right,
reflex.
let's move over to Florida. This week it was announced that Epcot's getting a new entrance and a new pavilion. The new entrance looks a lot like the original entrance, I think. But what are your thoughts about new entrance for Epcot?
I have a lot of thoughts.
Go.
Perfect.
Good,
So,
we've only got 9 minutes.
I'm really excited that the Leave a Legacy is moving to the outside of the park. I think they're very great for people who were involved with the Leave a Legacy stones, but for people that weren't, they just get in the way, and you lose people very easily. I've lost Mr. Daps many times when he's taking pictures, and I go, where are you? And he's between, like, row 4 and 5.
Is that weird Vietnam War memorial
Yeah.
thing you walk past? Okay,
Very
cool.
that, with people's faces etched into it. Very that.
I didn't realize those were faces the first time I was
It's
there.
scary.
Like, it took me a few. I'm like, oh,
They were
Okay.
$35, fun fact.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's cheap.
that's reasonable.
They were $35, and they were promised that they would be on property for 20 years. They were promised that they were sold them until 2007. That's why they can't move them, like, or demolish them, because they were promised they would be on property for 20 years. So they have 8 more years that they have to be on Walt Disney World property
So,
somewhere.
the new entrance, though.
I think it's so beautiful. And it's everything Epcot's about. It is the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. It's so pretty, and the fountain, and the greenery, and I'm so... And then, like, after they do this, they're
So to
gonna...
play devil's advocate,
What?
yes, it's beautiful. I will concede that.
Okay.
But is it really what Epcot was supposed to be about?
Yes.
It's an experimental.
Prototype community of tomorrow.
Where's the community?
That... Okay, listen.
I'm just playing the devil's advocate.
You
'cause
walk in. It was...
It wasn't
But
supposed
I
to be
still-
a park in the beginning.
I still can't live there,
Wasn't
Katie,
a
and
park.
that's my complaint.
But it's what...
But it's,
When Epcot opened in 19...
I'm just going to start voguing here in a second. You better watch out.
When Epcot opened in 1982, that was what the vision had turned into. It was no longer Westcott
yes.
or Epcot. It's more in line with how it opened in 1982.
I agree with that.
And what Epcot turned into.
That was Roy G.
Is this a
Biv
dance?
Disney's.
Was that a
Sorry,
dance?
I'm so passionate. And I'm very excited to see that vision coming back.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be gorgeous.
If anyone knows, like, I would love an article that I don't want to research myself, but because, like, the idea was to have this the prototype community that was also supposed to serve a secondary purpose that now an actual community is serving, which is the governance body of the area of Florida that is owned by Disney.
Reedy Creek.
Yes, that was actually that was the secondary purpose for Epcot, which is now fulfilled by this other small
Reedy Creek
housing
district or whatever.
area. Yeah, so few people that vote to keep Disney doing the Disney things the Disney way. But that was also, I want to know more about that.
They have a weird governance system down there too,
Yes.
and I don't know all the details, but I've picked up things here and there through the years, and that would be a very interesting.
I'd love to know more.
The governance of Walt Disney World. Yeah, that'd be really cool. There's also a new pavilion announced, the Play Pavilion. What do you think about this?
I think it's great, and taking unused space. Well, they currently use it for festival center sometimes. So taking an unused space that just has 2 attractions that they haven't used in 10 plus years and turning it into something for kids between 2 attractions that have height requirements, I think it's great. And it's in Future World, and it's all technology based and playing, and I think it's wonderful. Give the kids something
when
to
you
do.
do the Rider Switch passes, that's where the parents will take the kids.
Uh-huh.
While the other
they go on
parent
Guardians
goes on Guardians
or
and
Mission Space.
Yeah, that makes sense. So there's going to be characters there. It looks like. Are there any attractions going in there, or is it more just an
nothing.
experience?
Because it's going to open in 2 years, they don't have any attractions confirmed yet. All they've said so far is that it's a play area and it's character meet and greet area. But I would like
Curious to see what that looks
an
like.
attraction.
It's gonna look like Toontown Goofy's house used to look like, with a bunch of bouncy stuff, except it's all chrome because it's future.
I was gonna say, it looks like Ralph Breaks the Internet meets Times Square. Like, that's what the concept art looks like.
I thought it looked a lot like the superhero land that they're working in DCA.
Also that.
Doesn't it look a lot like...
It looks like they took those concepts and were like... Play Pavilion.
Wow, so many sound effects tonight.
Sorry.
That was a dead-on accurate witch sound.
It
effect.
was.
I don't
Really good.
Yeah, it was
I don't
like...
see the problem.
I am
So,
so impressed with you
Geeks
guys
Corner
right now.
soundboard, someone get on it.
Yeah.
Hashtag Geeks Corner soundboard.
Mm-hmm.
You make apps, Tyler.
What?
Do that.
You make
apps.
appetizers. Yeah.
Mozzarella sticks?
Blooming onion.
Potato skins?
Someone recently described on the internet the sound of ska is like a kid getting an extra order of mozzarella sticks. And that was pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Like,
I love mozzarella sticks.
They're good.
dun, 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 dun.
All right, final topic for tonight.
Yeah.
Frozen 2 trailer came out 2 weeks ago,
I'm
but
thrilled.
we had the DAPSies, so we didn't talk about them. What do you think about the trailer, and what are you hoping to see in this movie?
Elsa's wearing pants!
Elsa's wearing pants. That is an important thing.
Elsa's wearing pants.
Well, she's wearing like a figure skating outfit.
And she has like a cape.
Yes.
To do a cape thing with her pants.
Pantscape.
So can she now control all of the seasons? Is
No.
that what we're saying?
No, she is not the
Pants
Avatar.
don't do that.
Yeah. No. This
I moved on.
there's only one Avatar at a time, and Aang is the current Avatar.
It's not Elsa.
in that time. So
But it looks like we'll see people who control other seasons, because we do see something with autumn and leaves being controlled, and I hope that we see season people. Like snow people. You remember.
Mhm.
Cool, thank you.
Go ahead, Cameron.
I hope Olaf is the summer bender.
Could you imagine?
Oh, waves! Just I hope if Elsa gets a relationship, it's something progressive. I hope that if we do see other superpowers, they are not necessarily against each other, because they like from the first movie that the villain wasn't really a villain. I hope they keep that moving forward.
We need pre-Fire Nation attack.
I don't want... What I don't want is a bad guy in this movie, because I think that was... Everyone always complains about Frozen, and it's just because of the oversaturation, but when you really take it, Frozen was arguably
film.
one of the best films in the last decade.
Great
Yeah,
film.
it was great. But one of the things that made it so great is that there wasn't a villain. I mean, there's Weaselton, but that...
And Hans.
Yeah, they're not, but they're not even bad guys. And some would argue that Hans wasn't even a bad guy. He was being manipulated by the trolls, because they needed to destroy the relationship, and he didn't turn bad until after they discovered that she was due to marry this other guy. So they had to.
I'm not taking that.
Anyways,
No.
the trolls
The jury
caused
has
Hans.
dismissed your case.
Any biscuits. Not the point. The point is that the benefit of that movie was the big bad was Elsa, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to see more of that, where it's not a sympathetic villain, but an empathetic cast.
Yeah.
I would like more of that.
Okay. And what do you think the overarching plot's going to be?
Parents.
Give Jonathan Groff more songs. That's the
I
point.
hope so.
I think they're going after the parents.
Yeah.
Lost at Sea, those parents?
I think they're going for the Tarzan Island and looking for Rapunzel, and you know the theory, the extended theory.
Mm-hmm. I also hope Anna
Which
does not
could
get
make or break
superpowers.
it.
I don't want Anna to get powers. I'm going to put that out there.
I don't think Anna needs powers.
One of the best things in the trailer that we see is her drawing a sword and turning, which was super cool. And I like a non-superpowered heroine like that. That's
What
very
do you
cool.
have? A knife! No!
Ah!
It's a meme. It's a meme.
You see memes
fine.
of this thing on the internet.
I'm just listening to all the weird sounds coming out of you guys tonight. It's all good.
Welcome.
All right, so now having seen the trailer for Frozen 2, good movie, bad movie?
Good
Oh, it's gonna be
movie.
good. It's
good.
It's gonna be real good.
I'm so excited.
And what do you think of the name?
Just Frozen 2?
Is that good enough?
Yeah,
Too Frozen, Too Furious? I don't know.
the fate of the Frozen. It's gonna be so good. Oh, Vin Diesel would be so good in these movies. Oh, I'd watch it.
Who do you think
All right.
Sven is?
Well, you can think about that, but in the meantime, why don't you get us out of here? 'Cause
You should go to thegeekscorner.com. That's thegeekscorner.com. We do a lot of talking, most of it here, and you can see all of it there.
And a lot of noises. You should go to dapsmagic.com, check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens, subscribe to our mailing list, and find our Patreon.
And make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel where we've got a ton of other videos that are constantly going up, and you don't want to miss any of them because we got all that. What is it? Food and wine starting this coming weekend,
Friday.
Weather permitting. So we'll got new Fat Cat Swinger videos coming, among other things, and it'll be a lot of fun. But that's all the time we have for you this week. So we will see you around the corner.